Hello all, just another update. This time I'm going to read from another document published on the parliament.uk website, another public document. I'm just going to go through a few lines, then I'm going to actually show you some of the contractual documents which I have. I'll try and keep it brief. Anyway, once again, thanks for the support. It's all welcome and inspiring. Thank you very much. Right, so this is written evidence submitted by Mr Fulcher. The following submission, in response to the Treasury Select Committee's call for submissions made the 17th of June 2009, submits evidence of widespread consumer detriment experienced as a result of practices in the subprime mortgage market which are systemic, in breach of regulatory instruments, and by consequence, therefore unlawful. The scale of the consumer detriment is both unparalleled and appalling. The lender, touching on securitisation, the lender thereby has a vested interest in pursuing an aggressive repossession strategy. At no time has any consumer of these mortgage products consented, either expressly or otherwise, to the subsequent sale of their mortgage, nor typically was he or she ever informed. The scale of misconduct and consumer detriment is enormous. In submission of 3,000 words, it is impossible to even begin to scratch the surface of the seriously deficient maladministration of consumer accounts. Consumers of these products will variously and typically experience the following: failure of notification of the fact that their mortgage has been securitised, usually within 3 to 6 months, absence of consent to a disposition of property as mandated by law, failure to lawfully perfect the sale of the mortgage. I'm not going to go into the details. Have a look at it. If anyone needs me to explain what I believe that means, please get in touch. Breaches of the FSMA, the Mortgage Conduct of Business, MCOB rules, the UTCCRs, the Unfair Consumer Practices Directive, and where applicable, the Consumer Credit Act. Breaches of the criminal law in failure to register the disposition of land has taken place. Breaches of Section 1 and Section 5 of the Fraud Act 2006. And just the last sentence I'm going to read from this. The overall impact of these widespread practices is that consumers are being serially and unlawfully overcharged, treated with contempt, and subject to reprisals when making complaint. Is pointless. There are then untimely and often unlawful They are then untimely and often unlawfully repossessed, in addition to which the equity is then stripped from their homes. Now, this is on the Parliament website. Again, once the Parliament know about all this, they're not doing anything to protect us. Right, now, that's a little bit, it touches on securitisation, etc., etc. Now, my broker actually forged my application form and put me on a self-certification, subprime, self-employed mortgage. It's about the highest interest rate you can get. It's the biggest risk to a lender. So this is the application form that Kensington have on file in my name. This is not my application form. It is written completely and entirely in the handwriting of the broker. I have 7 pieces of writing, which 6 were done in my presence, to clarify his handwriting. Now, first, he's overvalued the price of the property, even though a professional valuation had been done at this time. It's only 10,000, but that is 10% of the overall value. Part 1, income from your employment. Now, I was a postman. He has fraudulently fraudulently, by failure to disclose information, just left it blank. He hasn't even mentioned to them that I'm employed. Number 2, or part 2, self-employed income. Here, he has made up that I have my own business as a parcel delivery. He's made up a name for my business, DJP Courier Services. He has made up that I'm earning £24,500 for this business, this fictional big business. And that signature is not mine. He forged my signature there. As we've moved further on through the application form, the declaration, swearing that everything in here is true and present and correct, etc., etc. That is not my signature. That's DP Wall. I don't know who DP Wall is, but it certainly isn't me. Here, we have a direct debit mandate. Once again, that is not my signature. We have the 2 mortgage deeds. Complicated? Maybe. But this here is the original deed. As you can see, it's dated the 2nd of the 2nd, 05. It is certified that it is a true copy of the original. Now, this deed expired. It was invalid, it expired. So, what they did, they made me a brand new one. Now, they are identical. There are various points. I've actually done an acetate overlay. They are the same deed. You can see from the mistake in the witness signature there. But you can see where they Tipp-X'd out the date 02/02/05. They actually, and that's not an accident, they didn't drop a bottle of Tipp-X onto my deed, and they added a new date and they made this deed. Now this one is certified as being a true and exact copy of the original. That in itself is fraud, because it's not. There's the original. That's not a true and exact copy of the original. A true and exact copy of the original is this. So that is fraud. Take note of the date. It is certified as being a true and exact copy of the original 10 days before the date at the top. This is blatantly a fake. Now, there are various legislations, case law, etc., etc. I'm not going to bore you on a video with it. I might put a separate one up for the people who are interested, but there's so many breaches. I've got 2 pages on all the different breaches of what that actually breaches. Now, I'm not going to, this is just what the Law Society say in regards to mortgage fraud. What is the issue? The Law Society. What is the issue? Criminals will exploit weaknesses in lending and conveyancing systems to gain illegitimate financial advantage from the UK property market. This can be either opportunistic action using misrepresentation of income or property value to obtain greater loans than a person is entitled to. Misrepresentation of income or property value. He did both. In my application form, he done both of them, and this is the first paragraph of this Law Society document. How does mortgage fraud occur? What is mortgage fraud? Mortgage fraud occurs where individuals default a financial institution or private lender through the mortgage process. Now, many people have said, well, he should have just paid his mortgage, he should have carried on paying his mortgage. Well, A, you never get any response from the mortgage lender. I asked Kensington Mortgage Company for proof of contract, etc., etc., way before. Anyway, this is one of the reasons why I stopped paying, to protect myself criminally, and it's stated here in this Law Society document. The value of a mortgage obtained through fraud is the proceeds of crime, Under the Proceeds of Crime Act 2002, you risk committing a money laundering offence if you acquire, use, have possession of, or enter into an arrangement with respect to or transfer this criminal property. They're saying it there in black and white. I would be criminally liable, I believe, to the proceeds of crime, money laundering, and being in possession of the proceeds of crime. I just want to finish with these documents, the application form, the direct debit mandate, and many more documents I have. do a subject access request. If you're suspicious about anything or if you're just fighting it, do a subject access request. It's under the Data Protection Act. You're not doing anything wrong. You can carry on paying your mortgage. You certainly don't have to do what I did and have your door kicked in. It'll cost you £10, and your lender or anyone else who you may send a Data Protection Act subject access request to are legally obligated and obliged to send you copies of all the information that they hold within certain conditions. They have to supply it to you legally. It might just open a can of worms for you, because we've had so many messages of people who have had similar instances to us where they forged documents, faked incomes, signed their signatures unlawfully and illegally. I'm not sure of anyone who would believe in this country that it is okay to forge somebody's signature. If it was me, I'd be doing 7 to 10 years now, guaranteed. If I had filled in that application form, I would be doing 7 to 10 years. You can almost guarantee it. Anyway, thank you very much. Sorry if I've gone on. More to come. See you all soon.